Today's testimony in the case against former Sheriff Bob McCabe sounded like an adult romance novel. Tales of gambling and womanizing came to the surface in court. 10 on your side's Jason Marks is live outside the federal courthouse in Norfolk with the sordid details. And Jason, I know you just got a big update.
Yeah, lots going on in this trial inside this building behind me, this federal courthouse. And before we get into today's testimony, let me tell you what's going on with the jury. About it this morning, we had a juror who was excused because he had COVID-like symptoms. So then they went on with the testimony all day long. And about 4 o'clock, that's when the judge decided to go ahead and take a little bit of a recess. There was talk about maybe postponing this trial, putting a pause on it for 10 days to quarantine the jury before they started up again. Now, what happened after that is that the judge was calling each juror, and they muted the mics so we couldn't hear what was going on, but calling each juror in one by one. So we don't know the outcome to that. We're just waiting to find that out. Around 4 o'clock, we can tell you that was the time when the prosecution rested its case against Sheriff Bob McCabe, former sheriff, we should say. Let me tell you now what happened during today's testimony. It was, as we mentioned, this afternoon, we heard from witnesses, 2 witnesses who took the stand, both who said they had conversations with a former chief deputy who told them that back in 2010, Sheriff McCabe asked that chief deputy to call CCX, Correct Care Solutions, and give them the bids to other companies who were vying for the jail's medical contract. That's a big thing by the prosecution. They've been saying that for the last 2 weeks. Before that, we heard from a local businessman, James Baylor, who was on the stand for the federal government. Prosecutors showed text message between Baylor and McCabe. They pointed out that McCabe would ask for loans to help pay for his gambling debts and asked Baylor to send over crews to help fix the AC in McCabe's home. There were text messages asking Baylor to contribute to his campaign. Baylor owned a building leased by the city. According to the text message, McCabe promised Baylor that he would keep the lease going. McCabe said he could contact city council members on Baylor's behalf. In 2016, Baylor says he was given a blank check for $12,500 from Correct Care Solutions to donate to McCabe's mayoral campaign. Baylor put that check into his account. He then had friends write checks to McCabe's campaign and reimburse those friends for the expenses. Baylor told the jury that he knew what he was doing was wrong. Now, I know there's a lot of information there. The big thing right now, we're trying to figure out whether there's going to be a pause on this trial because of COVID. We're going to find that. I was waiting for James Broccoletti, Sheriff McCabe's defense attorney, to walk out, hopefully to find that information. It is past time, so they locked the doors here at the courthouse, so it's hard to get back in. I can tell you that the prosecution has rested its case. They were scheduled to take Monday off anyway, and we know that the defense will put on its case if there's no pause beginning Tuesday morning. We are going to try to figure this out. We'll have the latest for you coming up tonight on WAVY News 10 at 6. But for now, that's the latest here live in Norfolk. Jason Marks, 10 on your side.
Thank you, Jason.